Hello everyone, my name is Kristen and I will be talking to you about my service learning project with the Conestoga Area Food Bank. I participated with the Conestoga Area Food Bank from January of 2016 until October of 2016 to complete my service learning hours. I want to explain to you more about what the Conestoga Area Food Bank is. It is based out of Conestoga in Pennsylvania, and it is on Main Street, and it's in the basement of a church. The food is collected and stored in the church basement, and on a bi-monthly basis, the food is packaged into grocery bags with the perishables and the non-perishables and hand delivered by a couple people to several families in the Conestoga area and surrounding areas. And this is done twice a month, and the groceries aren't supposed to be like their full grocery need. The families are still buying some of their groceries, but it is supplemental based on people who they have to apply and be accepted into the program in order to receive these groceries, and every once in a while they have to reapply to make sure that they are still have a need for it, and once they are finished with the need, they just move on and no longer receive the groceries, which is the end goal. This organization isn't meant for long-term supplementation, it's meant for short-term when families come into a time of need or crisis. I chose this organization because I do have a passion for serving others and also relating to people, and this organization allows the helper to not only package the groceries but also hand deliver them and relate to the people, which is the part that I really enjoy. The population that is served is lower income people who somehow got themselves into a place where they are no longer able to fully supply their grocery needs, and the needs of the population are that they are in need of supplemental groceries while they are not able to make ends meet. There are different roles of the healthcare professional in different areas of society. Specifically with the low-income households, socially, the healthcare professional is needed in order to relate to the people that are in need. Socially, these people may be in need of relationships because they feel more like an outcast because they're unable to make their ends meet, or they may not have as many close friends. And not that the healthcare professional is expected to befriend everyone who's in a low-income situation, but it is important not to discriminate based on the social status of someone. So it is important for the healthcare professional to keep that in mind when they are relating to the people, to their patients who are low income. It is important to relate to them all on an equal level based on their social income, their social status. Politically, the people who are participating with the food bank are in need of food, and that is something that our government does try to combat, is food insecurity. And so as the healthcare professional, I was able to participate with the food bank in order to combat hunger and deliver food to the homes, to the households that were in need. So that is an important political aspect. Economically, these people who are unable to provide their full source of food, they are not as economically well off, and they're also not really stimulating the economy because they don't have money to spend on excess items or things. So it is important to provide them with their food so that they're able to get themselves back on top and able to function in society again. And then culturally kind of goes along with socially. Some cultures may frown upon food insecurity or low income more. but it is important, again, not to discriminate based on cultures or based on the status of if they're able to provide their own food or not. This project was designed, I helped with the food bank before I started logging my hours. I sporadically helped because our church is involved with this food bank. But I did design this in that I was looking at different areas in my service that I was able to log for this service learning project, because I'm involved with my church with youth ministry and worship and children's ministry. But I felt like the Conestoga Area Food Bank would be a little more practical for this project. So I talked with a couple people at my church and was able to get my husband and I set up to help with the Conestoga Area Food Bank. And it was nice because my husband and I were able to do the food bank route together. So it was something that we were able to serve the community together and get to know these couples and families together as a couple ourselves. So in order to implement this project, as I said, I spoke with some people from my church, and then we started meeting once a month. And for the first first 3 times, I think we had someone who was in charge of the food bank and knew more about it and already did the food bank route. He met with us and did the first couple of rounds with us so that we were able to learn how to do the food bank route and what all was needed to be done. And then we were able to do it ourselves. If I would do this again, there's a couple of things that I would change. I would want to deliver food more than once a month because I would be able to connect with the families more than once a month. That way I would have a more consistent relationship with them and would be able to discuss with them and just meet with them and become closer friends with them. And kind of along those same lines, I would want to deliver to fewer families in an evening because sometimes once like 6 p.m. rolled around and we were delivering to 9 families, by the time we were delivering to the last family, it was close to 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And if some of those families had young children, they were getting ready for bed, and it would have been more convenient to have fewer families to deliver to. And even if we had fewer families, we could spend more time with each family, which would also be helpful so that we could learn more about their story and where they come from and what they're struggling with that we can pray with them about. And it would have just been more conducive to have a better relationship with the people. I did have 3 learning objectives that I wrote when I composed my service learning project. The first one is that by the end of the service learning agreement, I will develop a mutually beneficial relationship with the staff at the Conestoga Area Food Bank through service-based monthly interactions. And I was able to develop these mutually beneficial relationships, obviously, with my husband when we were delivering the food that took place. But we also met with some of the other volunteers for the Conestoga Area Food Bank. Sometimes we would both be getting to the church at the same time to be collecting our groceries to deliver, and that way we were able to meet with them. Through the Conestoga Area Food Bank, we were able to do a service project with my church and renovate a mobile home and gift it to one of the members of the Conestoga Area Food Bank because one of the families that had the services of the Conestoga Area Food Bank, because her mobile home was in very poor condition. So through that, we also developed beneficial relationships because a lot of us were working on this mobile home project. My second objective is that by the end of the service learning agreement, I will be able to identify 3 resources available to the families who benefit from the services offered by the Conestoga Area Food Bank. And I simply just did this through doing a web search to look for local services that are available or resources. And I did find some. The one is called a contact helpline, and they are open 24/7 and provide free confidential listening, health, and human service information for people who are in need. A second resource that I found was the Department of Human Services, and there's the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services. They have 7 programs that administer services that provide care and support to Pennsylvania's most vulnerable citizens. And then WIC is the third resource that I found. And WIC helps pregnant women, mothers, and caregivers of infants and young children to learn about good nutrition to keep themselves and their families healthy. So those were 3 resources that I noted and that are available to these families, and I think they would benefit from them. My third learning objective is that by the end of the service learning agreement, I will be able to perform the food bank route with no assistance from another person, including, but not limited to, packing the food, finding the houses, and delivering the food to the customers. And by the end of the service learning agreement, my husband and I were doing this by ourselves with no help from another person, which was rewarding to be able to make it to that place. So the impact on low-income households that the Conestoga Area Food Bank has, they don't just provide food, which is very essential because that is what draws them to the program is their need for food, but we also provide them with community, with support, and with prayer. So us meeting with them on a bi-monthly basis, we were living in community with them in that we were discussing what was going on in their lives. We were supporting them. We were praying for them. We were following up the next time and asking what we prayed for last time, how that ended up going. So we were just able to impact those families in a way that we wouldn't have been able to do if we weren't working with the Conestoga Area Food Bank. For me, as I reflect on this project, personally, I feel like I made a difference in my community. I didn't just make a difference on a short-term mission trip abroad. Like, I was making a difference with families who live 5 minutes from my house, which was really neat to be able to make a difference in people that you would potentially even be able to rub shoulders with, because we gained friendships with these people, and some of the families actually come to my husband's family's greenhouse. So over the spring, I'll be able to see them when they're coming for their plants, and we'll be able to reconnect and check in with how we're doing. And through this project, I was also able to relate to a community that I wouldn't normally relate to. So it's not every day that I'm going out and delivering food to families in need. So because I worked with this project, I was able to connect with people that I wouldn't normally be able to connect with. So overall, this project was very beneficial for me personally. And professionally, this project also helped open my eyes on a couple of things. Food insecurity really is foundational to health. If someone's not able to provide themselves with healthy food, or if they're consuming food that is unhealthy due to the fact that they don't have enough money to purchase food that is healthy, that can really impact their health. They can have obesity, diabetes, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, all just because they can't afford healthy food. Additionally, it doesn't just impact you physically, it can impact you emotionally, mentally. Just think about how you would feel if you weren't even able to know when your next meal was going to be put on the table or where the money would come from to provide for the food. That really does put you in an emotional state that is not healthy. So through this project, I was able to understand non-compliance in a better way, because as a nurse, you're like, why can't the patients change? Why don't they make changes? Why don't they take their medications? Why do they miss their appointments? Well, if they don't have enough money to purchase their medications, if they may not even have enough money to put fuel in the car to drive to their appointments, or if they don't have enough money to buy healthy food to make healthy changes, that could cause non-compliance. So it's not necessary that they don't want to make the change, it's that they might not have the ability to make the change. So this project really helped open my eyes to that aspect of non-compliance. This is the end of my presentation, so I do hope that you enjoyed it, but I did want to just leave you with this saying that we need to be the ones who make the change. So be a game changer. The world has enough followers. Thank you.